The concept of permission marketing is the single most important strategic thing to understand when you're trying to grow your clientele. But it's one of those things that's easy to explain, but kind of hard to understand unless you see a case study of it. And that's why I think this conversation is going to be so valuable for you to listen to. In it, Kian and I speak about how she's going to go from being a part-time nanny and removing that part of her career and going full-time online. And the way that she's going to do that is through this process of permission marketing, of asking people basically for feedback as a way to build more connections to people who she already has some connection with, but communicate what she does and get them interested or get people that they know interested. Again, permission marketing is really, really valuable. Hard to kind of explain in abstract, but you're going to get it the minute that you hear us go through this process. This is a hot seat for my mentorship. I hope that you really enjoy it. I'll be back afterwards to recommend another episode. Ken, you'll go first. If you can quickly share just who you serve, who you are, and what you want to talk about today, and we'll get rolling.
Yeah. Hey guys. So my name is Kyan. I am owner of the Dash of Pepper Coaching. I am out of Richmond, Virginia. I am a personal trainer, nutrition coach, and a nanny, actually. So I serve parents that are busy parents, 30 years and older, that are trying to lose at least 10 pounds without losing their minds. And so right now I'm kind of going through a transition because I've worked as a full-time nanny basically for the last 13 years, and I've always had a passion for health and fitness and just really what it's done for my own life, and working just crazy hours helping parents and just kind of bridging the gap and, helping out in the household and just seeing all the struggles that parents go through trying to keep up with the daily demands of life, and then figuring out, how to incorporate their health and make sure they're literally not losing their minds on top of it. So that was where I saw the gap to help people. But being that I worked so much myself and starting my own business on the side, everything was done nights and weekends, and just, after everything else I had going on. And so I've actually scaled back my hours, going down to part-time as a nanny. So now I'm kind of navigating this whole new task of how to better manage my own time as I start to build this for myself, so that I can have more freedom and flexibility in my own schedule, so that when I get to a point of starting my own family, I'm not trying to figure out how to work all those things then. Like, I really want to have a foundation for myself first and foremost, because I've seen how hard it is for people to build, when they are already in the cusp of having those families started. And so I want to get ahead of that now. And so it started out as just a really cool way for me to be passionate about what I love, and helping people that I love, is more of a passion project, and just kind of having some extra money to invest and save and things like that. And now it's like my back's against a wall. I have to figure this stuff out. I need to, scale and scale relatively quickly. So being, really great at time management and focusing on the right things that are going to move the needle forward. My goal is to get to a point of making at least $6,000 a month. So, I've got a good client base right now, but there's a lot of room for improvement. And it's definitely scary having taken off that consistent income now that I am only part-time as a nanny. So just kind of making that jump and making sure that I can sustain what I need to do, but also have the freedom and flexibility to explore, opportunities, as this is still very new. So
Cool. Well, thank you for sharing that. You
yeah.
definitely understand what goes into busy parents. I think about as good as any personal trainer who trains
Yeah.
trains busy parents, which I mean is definitely something to leverage. It's something that makes you different. How many people can really say that they understand the way that you understand?
Thank you.
To the point where you've worked with these families, I imagine, day in and day out with these parents who are quite busy. How many, let me ask you a quick question. How many were you working with the same family for those 13 years, different families?
No, it's been different families. So
Okay.
it's been a combination of one family at a time, or two families kind of splitting the week to make up full-time hours. And then, date nights and traveling with nanny families and just a bunch of stuff in between, as I've kind of figured out like how I want my schedule to be. I did a lot more travel nanny and things like that in the earlier
Right.
years. And, I hit 30 and I was like, heck no.
We had a travel nanny at one point. I think after she did the travel nanny thing with us for a couple months, she was like, heck no.
Yeah,
It's tough.
it's fun.
It's tough. It's lonely.
A lot.
So how many, if you could ballpark, like how many families you've worked with where you could like message the parents? I assume it's the mother that you probably had the closer relationship with in most cases, but where you could message the parents and be like, hey, how you doing? Like,
I'd say, well, gosh, I mean, there's probably a good 20 families over the years that I've worked between date nights and just consistent week to week stuff. The communities here, Richmond is a very small city. So everybody knows everybody,
yeah.
which was kind of crazy when I first moved here 13 years ago. But yeah, everybody knows everybody. So I've got a relatively good network as far as that goes.
And these people, I'm not asking you to like ask the people if you could be their trainer. I'm gonna go in somewhere with this, but are these people, would you consider these people to be more or less like the type of person that you're targeting in terms of wealth, affordability, need, or are they completely different?
No, I think so. They're right where they need to be.
Okay. So there's 20 folks to reach out to here.
Yeah.
Have you spoken to them about any of what you're doing yet?
Yeah, for sure. And I've got a good bit of them that have been past clients, whether it's been strictly nutrition or, since joining OTM, making it a one signature program. Because in the beginning, I was offering just nutrition coaching because that's the
Okay.
first training certification and program all that I went through. I didn't actually join or add on being a personal trainer until a couple of years into that. So it started as nutrition only, and I have a good part of them were part of my nutrition only program.
Cool.
Yeah.
You have here in your intake, which is what I'm looking at here. It says I need about 2 clients per month to replace my nanny income that was lost at your current price point of 1,200 USD. So how many, I want to work backwards, right? So you said that you need to be at 6,000 a month, or you want to be at 6,000 a month. How many clients do you need to be at that point?
So in order to, right now my signature program is $1,200 for 12 weeks. So in order to replace, right now I'm just trying to replace the income that I have scaled back on for the part-time. So that's about like 21 hours a week, give or take. So that 2 clients a month would solidify the replacement of that. But I truly want to be at $6,000 a month. And the only reason I haven't necessarily set my sights on going full-time completely with the coaching is because, one, I love working with kids. It's been something that I've done for a long time. So until I, start my own family, I don't necessarily feel the need to scale back from that. Because if I'm being super intentional about my time, the first part of the week, and getting everything I need to do done, I don't see why there's any reason to, leave this other family that I'm working with high and dry. We've got a contract, great things are going. But it also, I think, scales into that relatability factor because I'm able to share a lot of my day-to-day stuff that I do with the kids and just some of the crazy, like silly tidbits of the chaos with kids. I think that, really fuels into relatability in terms of what I share on social media and things like that.
I think that's massive how much you understand them. I think that's hard to really communicate online quickly.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to solve the now problem. You know, like what you post on social media as like your savings account for like later is a different conversation. I'm trying to solve the now problem, which is you need 15 clients. I did the public math on my paper here.
I love it.
I carried the one and everything. You need 15 clients, right? At $400 a month is, so 1,200 for 12 weeks, you need 15 clients.
Yeah.
So let's get you those 15 clients now. Let's not worry about what content to post on social media and stuff like that, because that's not going to get you those 15 clients now. That might get you those 15 clients 6 months, a year from now. Right. But where we're at now is this is the number. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but like this is like the number one thing. Is that right?
Yep.
First thing that jumped to my mind here is permission marketing. Have you ever heard me speak about permission launches, permission marketing, anything like that? It's totally okay if you haven't.
No, I don't think so. At least the term doesn't ring a bell. Maybe if you explain it a little bit more.
I haven't spoken about it like on the podcast a few times, but I haven't spoken about it in a lot of different places. It's a phenomenal way to reconnect with people you had some connection with that are actually your perfect customers themselves, but also integrate yourself into their world and become like referred to them. So here's kind of how it goes. You've got these 20 families who some of them you've worked with, some of them you haven't. And you have this new signature program that achieves basically the exact problem that they have. Right. How it works is that you reach out to them, to the parents, whoever the parents are, because I mean, it's not inconceivable to think that you might get a couple sign up for this too, which is, 2 for 1, fantastic. And so you reach out to them, and instead of saying, hey, I have this new program, would you be interested? You say, hey, I'm building this new program that's going to help people achieve XYZ. I'm looking for people to help me really nail down what goes into it and what the problems that you have are. Would it be possible to jump on the phone and I can ask you questions about your day to day, where you're at, and just to help me build this program. And because what that does is 2 things. Number one, there's an old Pitbull line from one of his songs that goes into this, but it basically, if you ask somebody for business, they'll give you advice. If you ask somebody for advice, they're going to want to do business with you. It's a weird work of human psychology. Benjamin Franklin actually came up with it. That's a whole nother story that I can tell you another day. But what he would do is that if he had to find somebody that he wanted to ingratiate to himself, he would actually ask them for a favor. So he would ask like his political opponents to borrow a book of theirs. And in doing that, they did him a favor, and you only do favors for people you trust. And then it bridged forward. So what you're doing here is 2 things. One, you're learning how to make this program perfect for them, like 100%. Ask them questions over and over again. Hey, like, what are you trying to achieve? Take down notes of the lines that they use. You probably know what it is mostly, but you don't know how they say it. And so if you notice the same words over and over again, like we did this with Quick Coach, and over again, people use the word slick. I want a slick platform. It's like, I don't know why that word kept coming up, but it did. So you look at our marketing and we use that word. So you'll notice some patterns with that as you're taking notes, and then you want to record the calls and go over them afterwards, because it's very hard to listen to people and have a conversation at the same time. And so you're figuring out how to make your program better. It's way easier to reach out to them and get on the phone with them if you say, hey, I would love to get your help in building something. And then at the end of the call, you say, awesome, this is so helpful. Janice, I don't know, we'll call her Janice, one of the moms. Hey, Janice, this was so helpful. Thank you so much. It calls are like 15, 20 minutes, right? Janice, this was so super helpful for, specifically one thing you said, try to find one thing that they said. Specifically, this one thing you said about that is going to really help me nail down this. Thank you so much. I can't tell you how much this means to me. And look, totally cool if not. But once I've built this program, put everything together, it would be in a week or 2. Would you be open to just hopping on another call? I'd love to walk you through it and get your opinions on it, on all the pieces once I've put them together. And so this is where the permission marketing comes in, right? They say yes, because they almost always will say yes. And then you get them on it. You book in that call that time for a week from then or 2 weeks from then. And then on that next call, you're just walking them through the different aspects of the program. It's pretty much a sales call. But it's not really, but you're walking them through the program. So again, you're getting feedback on it. Oh, that part feels really good. Oh, I'm not sure about that part. And then at the end of that, you say, hey, do you know anybody who might be interested in this? I'm looking to take in the first group of people here. It's $400 a month for 3 months. which comes down to, just over $10 a day. And then, I'm going to be raising the price after that, but for the first group, we'll keep this. Can you think of anybody who might be interested in it?
Mm.
In a lot of cases, that person will say, yes, me, because A, you contacted them because they're perfect for it. B, they literally told you how to build the perfect program for them. But in other cases, they might give you a name of somebody else.
Okay.
And then every single time that somebody is interested or signs up, this comes from Rachel Cosgrove. She gave a phenomenal presentation on this. Every time that somebody signs up with you or is interested with you, say, one thing that I've noticed over the years is that overwhelmingly people do better when they have a partner that they're going through this program with. And the reason for that is, I'm your coach, which is great. I'm here in your corner, but sometimes you need just somebody else going through the same process with you in order to talk about what you're feeling about at that time. Can you think of anybody else that I might be able to give a call that you'd be able to introduce me to go through this with you? And you should get 20 or 30% of people referring you somebody else right then to go through it. That would be because you have these 20 families you worked with, and not just worked with, but you looked after their kids. This is not a loose connection. This is a trusted relationship. I would start there and follow that program and follow that permission process.
Yeah, I like how you take it another step further, because I actually did that when I started my nutrition program. Is I basically went into this Facebook group that I had permission, to be in, and kind of they would do, one day
recording in progress,
marketing, things like that. Just say, hey, I'm trying to, gather some information for my my program that I'm putting together. Are there any moms in here that would be willing to hop on a call with me? And I had like 15 people say yes. So I did that. Where I dropped the ball, as I see now, was, not scheduling that follow-up call after the fact, just to see, so now that I know that'll make a huge difference for sure.
Yeah, it's step 1 and step 2. And then you can just keep following up with them afterwards, right? You can say, hey, especially if you have notes on what they told you. Hey, we just ran our first group through this program. And one of the things you said on our call a few months back about how you think that this thing would really be beneficial. Oh my God, I can't thank you enough. Here's where that came in handy. Here's where that helped that person.
Mm-hmm.
And continually follow up, especially, families know other families know other families. They just might be busy right now to even think about something else, which I also totally understand. Okay, well, we got to move on, but thank you so much for that. This is fun. And like I said, to me, it's like, there's lots of stuff you could do, but what's the problem today? Let's focus on that. Hey, it's John. I'm back, and I hope that you really enjoy that. I follow this concept of permission marketing with every new project that I do. I think that it is the single best way to launch something new or get attention for what you're doing. Again, that was a hot seat for my mentorship. If you're somebody who works in health and fitness and you're looking to scale to really explode your business in the next 12 weeks and then moving forward in the next year, please send me a DM on Instagram. I'm at It's Coach Goodman. That just says the word mentor, and we'll have a conversation about it. Now, if you're looking for another episode to listen to, I'm going to recommend episode 84. This actually goes into this idea of permission marketing in much more detail and other stuff to do when you're kind of looking to launch a new service or business. So that's episode 84. It's called You're Over Preparing. Just scroll back wherever you listen to this podcast. You'll be able to listen to that one as well. Check it out. Enjoy. Talk to you again soon.